Brother, I'm going on a wild Hulk Hogan. If all I get's a moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing stars, trying to kick her on his jaw cord. But it's no holds barred, middle fingers like I'm Stone Cold.
What is up, everybody? It is your host, We Too Deep. We're back with another episode of the Slap and Meat Wrestling Podcast. As always, with me is DJ Wavy D, and we're gonna jump right on in today's episode. As you can see from the title, we're doing a way too early prediction. Heading into WrestleMania, things are sure to change as we head into Elimination Chamber. But let's do some how we would book WrestleMania type conversation. But before we get there, we have to talk about SmackDown last week because we're not going to get too in depth because we do have a lot of questions that talk about sort of the big part that happened at the end with what happened between Rock, Cody, and Roman. But overall, like, what did you feel, about SmackDown, specifically more about Rock and Cody?
So coming out of SmackDown, the big news, new tag team #1 contenders. Not joking, but no, the real big news, the Cody and Rock debacle, Roman Reigns debacle. So let me preface this with this: you wrestling a lot of, not all of you, a lot of you wrestling fans suck. Okay, a lot of you wrestling fans are fickle. And a lot of you wrestling fans don't just take it for face value that it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we can have differing opinions and we can debate about what we think is good, what we think is bad. But when y'all get to the point of sending death threats to people because you don't like the booking, and you send death threats to their families, and like, for example, like y'all send it to Ava, she got nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all talk about how she's just GM because her dad's he's on the board of governors or whatever, board of directors.
Right.
First of all, if you even watch NXT, she's been groomed to be next GM for like the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That just proves that y'all don't watch the product, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, back to the initial question that my boy We Too Deep served me up with. Now, you guys wanted this match. We wanted this match. A lot, like 95% of wrestling fans wanted the Roman Reigns versus Rock match. Granted, we would have preferred it last year. And, saying The Rock was, in my opinion, a little too lazy to get in ring shape. I don't know what ring shape means. I'm not a professional wrestler. I know he's in muscle shape, but I don't know what ring shape means.
Mm-hmm.
But, if he needs more cardio, so be it. But we're getting the match this year, okay? And also, what y'all need to know, Roman Reigns is not dropping that title until he break the record. Get that through your heads. So essentially, you guys saying that you want Cody to lose twice in a row, 2 WrestleManias in a row. That's what I'm hearing from you guys when you say, we want Cody to finish the story. We want Cody to fight Roman at WrestleMania. And granted, I was on this podcast roughly a month ago saying the same thing. Let Cody finish at WrestleMania. Let him finish at WrestleMania. But, I got persuaded and shown the light by my boy Way Too Deep. You know what I'm saying? He actually told me and showed me how actually close we are to like Roman breaking the record, how close we actually are. At this point, let's just finish the rest of the roller coaster, okay? Let's finish the rest of the roller coaster. And let's not let Cody lose twice at Mania. Let's let The Rock take an L. And if he wins, shame on WWE. The Rock should not win the title right now, so that's a shame on them. But as far as I got fantasy booking, but that's for later in the show. But I am okay right now with The Rock versus Roman. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of piggyback off of what you said. It is entertainment. It's a story. It isn't real life. Some of y'all act like what you see on TV is real life, and it's not. And so anytime a death threat is sent out to a pro wrestler, no matter who it is, it's just not called for. And so, especially over something like, and I'm going to go more in depth. So I'm going to go ahead and announce it. Thursday, I'll have another one of my We Too Deep rants. Y'all are going to get served up with me cooking some more ranting about this particular topic. So I'm not going to give a lot of that away, but I will address it here. As Wavy D said, y'all been calling for this match for 3 years. Is it the right timing? We can argue that. We can have conversations about it, but it's happening. And a month ago, like quite honestly, a month ago, it was like January 9th, Rock came back, buried Jinder Mahal, and this promo started with the whole teasing of being at the head of the table. And 95% of the fan base was cheering for it. Oh, Rock called out Roman Reigns. We're getting it. We're getting it. But I don't know what it is. It because it's at the expense of Cody Rhodes? Everyone knows I'm a Cody hater. Not the biggest fan of him. Well, I could see past my bias to him though and say, yeah, this is a money thing. This is a storyline thing. And personally for me, if WWE does this right, this could be something Cody uses to give himself a little edge. We've been saying that for about a month now. That Cody needs some more something in his character to make it. But my biggest thing is, y'all are getting right into what WWE wanted you to do with the "We Want Cody." This is exactly what they wanted. They wanted you to make him a martyr that you guys would jump in support of, and that he died on this hill of the Rock came. This is no different than 2014 Daniel Bryan when Batista came back. This is no different than that. And they knew you would react this way, and you reacted the way they wanted to. So congratulations. At the end of the day, you played yourself. So the whole "We Want Cody," they wanted that. Now they can hand out signs in the arenas. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be at SmackDown this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be there in Charlotte, and I can't wait. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be, I'm hoping, Roman, if not Roman, at least Cody shows up. I know Cody's gonna be there at least in a dark match, from what I've seen on the website. But I'm hoping he's there for SmackDown as well. And from the get-go last Friday, I had my initial thoughts. I got hype when The Rock's music played. I've always been calling for this. I've always thought that the bloodline story needed to end within the family. But I think some wrestling fans just need to learn patience. There's a lot more story here. And as you've stated, Roman's not losing this title to at least September. So why would you put Cody Rhodes in this match for him to lose again? So I've always been of the idea that this is CM Punk came back. My sort of fantasy booking was to put him against Roman, because CM Punk could take a loss against Roman and it not hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock can take a loss against Roman and it not hurt him. So, but we'll talk. We got a lot more questions about that, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go into our fantasy booking. So I'll say this. Let's go match for match, but I don't have mine ordered night 1 or night 2 yet.
Neither do I.
Let's start with like matches we think would be like mid card. So,
Okay.
So we'll save all the championship matches for later. So I'll start with my first match. I think we're going to get Dominic Mysterio versus Braun Breaker. Now this is supposed to me, this is supposed to be Dom versus Brock, but obviously we know with this whole scandal shit, Brock's not going to be there. And Braun filled in for him at Rumble. So I just think they're going to put Braun into this situation. I think Braun signs with Raw at some point, probably next week or so. And so Dom versus Braun Breaker is the first match I'll fantasy book?
I actually don't have Dom in a actual match on my card. I have him accompanying. Probably not Rhea. I think she's gonna go that thing solo. Get center stage to herself. But I have Dominic accompanying the Judgment Day in a tag team match versus DIY currently.
Okay.
They're probably could change, but I think they're going into Mania as champions.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be DIY if they have a singular opponent.
So I'll go in and back you up on that one. I also have Judgment Day versus DIY for the titles, and I do think personally DIY will win at Mania. It's a Triple H move all the way.
That's why I was kind of going off the Sami and Kevin vibes from last year.
Yeah.
Where they topple the tag team that can't seem to lose their titles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Jimmy Uso thing. Speaking of Jimmy Uso, my next mid card match is I have Jimmy versus Jay in a sibling rivalry match. I think the way we get there, here's a little bit of fancy booking for y'all, a little prediction booking. I think we get Jay versus Gunther at Elimination Chamber. And I think Jimmy costs Jay the title because I think Imperium gets taken out by New Day at some time in the show, or maybe like the Friday before the show. So I think Gunther goes in alone, and I think Jay versus Gunther, and I think Jimmy, Jay has the title within his reach. Jimmy comes out, costs him the title to reignite their feud going into Mania season, or going into Mania. We're already Mania season, but.
Is it going to be something like similar to Jay versus Roman where Jimmy pulls him out of the ring type thing, you think?
Yeah, either that or a rough bump, and, super
Right.
kick. So he calls him the match.
Right. So I do have Jimmy versus Jay. I didn't really think too far on how we'll get there. We just know it's going to be that match.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it. This is 14 years in the making of my favorite tag team. And typically when they split up tag teams that I like, I sort of get bummed out, but I can't wait for this. I really can't wait for this. It kind of jealous. I wish I could go, to be honest with you, just for this match. So I do have that one. I'm gonna go and pick. I think we're going to have this match in some way, shape, or form. Not sure how it's gonna happen, but Legado del Fantasma versus LWO.
Okay.
Now LWO, which members come, because there's like 5 of them. I'm not exactly certain. I'm assuming it'll be Ray, Santos, and maybe Carlito. Depending on how they want to use the other 2 random ones no one ever really talks about. But yeah, I definitely see that being the big feud for the mid card on SmackDown. So I do have that.
I'm along similar lines, but again, I have mine down to singles action. I got Santos versus Ray.
Okay.
I think the factions. They come out and they interfere, similar to the Dom and Ray match from last year. But I got Santos versus Ray, and they're reigniting their grudge match because Ray's right around the corner from returning. Hopefully, that's the word. And yeah, so I got Santos versus Ray.
Okay. I'm gonna go sort of, I don't know if this is a hot take, but Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Just for the fact that it would be a good match, and Owens really doesn't have anyone to fight, and neither does Orton. And so I think they may be, you could easily set this up in the Elimination Chamber. And so I'm assuming Chamber's going to be 3 people from Raw, 3 people from SmackDown.
Anything to do for the World Heavyweight title, or is it a qualifier match, like similar to the women's one?
I think it'll be a qualifier for Mania. I do.
Okay. So sticking with Randy, I actually have a curveball out there. I'm predicting a Randy Orton versus Omos match at Mania. I think the story is going to be, like, see, I don't know how to interject them together, but once they get together, I see MVP doing the "Can you hit that RKO on the tallest, biggest, 7-foot monster?" And then Randy hits that RKO on the guy. But also, I do see Omos going over at Mania. I think it might start a small little push for him. So
Yeah,
Omos going over Randy at Mania.
Omos is he's one of those guys. Like I like him. I think there's a section of the fan base that likes him, but he's just never. It just feels like they put him in like these Mania Rumble type cards just to be there, and I could see it happening, and I wouldn't mind it.
Almost Sapiens rise.
Let's go, absolutely. And then I think my last. Well, no, I got two. Well, no, this is a title match. Let's go. Yeah, I got two more non-title mid-card matches. I'll start with Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross.
Same. I mean, if you want to throw the Profits and the AOP in there, go ahead. But yeah, I got Lashley versus Kross.
Yep. And then my last non-title mid-card match will be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kazuchika Okada. It's happening. I know everyone's thinking Okada's going to magically show up in AEW, but I have bad news for you. It's not going to happen. I'm 100% certain he'll be at WrestleMania.
Now, I as well have Shinsuke versus Okada written down on mine. It's just the only thing I'm piggybacking off the boy. I mean, you can't really say that's a terrible thing, but I do have Shinsuke versus Okada. And also, if they do want to keep Cody out the picture, right? A fantasy booking to give him something interesting, especially if they're gonna try to go back into this Cody Shinsuke feud a little more, which I think should be done as far as TV wise. But if Shinsuke is like, dang, I can't beat this guy, I gotta bring him back up. You kind of have like almost like a little team up between the Japanese superstars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know Okada. Apparently, he's supposed to be like Japanese John Cena. So is he like true babyface, or think he could be a heel?
I don't know him enough, but I have watched some of his stuff in New Japan. I would keep him as the babyface, just because of it. I mean, if they get to play his music from New Japan, you'll know it because everyone will mark out in the arena. But the first little part of it is it sounds like a coin just fell on the floor.
Oh no, yeah, I heard music.
Yeah, so if they get to play that, I want this to sort of be set up like how Cody's debut was at Mania, where Shinsuke doesn't have an opponent, but that's not good enough for him, so he goes in the middle of the ring and like hijacks the show and calls someone out. And the reason I'm 100% certain, I'll put a guarantee on this, is because during Vengeance Day, we got that random video vignette,
the 3 faces,
about the 3 faces, and at first I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then I went to go look it up, and it's a Japanese proverb. Like, it's either him or it's Julia, which either way, that one would be great as well. But Okada just showing up and in WWE, that's something that we never, at least the hardcore fans said would never happen. That he's a New Japan wrestler for life. And everyone's sort of on this train that him and Sasha will debut mid-March for AEW. I mean, Sasha can go there if that's what she wants. But I'm 100% certain with Okada that he's WWE bound. It's the only thing he hasn't done yet.
Speaking of Sasha, is Tony's big announcement this Wednesday, like tomorrow or next Wednesday?
It's this Wednesday, and it's believed to be a show in Boston. It's going to be the big announcement, which is not a big announcement. It's just a normal business announcement, Tony.
Wait. So the announcement is that they're bringing AEW to Boston?
That's the belief. That's the belief.
Wait, so where's this? Do you know where the show is being held tomorrow?
I do not.
I really hope his big announcement that he prepped for a whole week isn't that we're having a show in Boston. I really hope it's like here in Boston, Mercedes Moné. Like, please.
Let me see. Wednesdays. It's in Phoenix tomorrow.
Oh, I mean, hey, I'm just saying. I swear, if it's literally just we're in Boston, that means a walking.
The belief is that he's going to announce some like massive show from TD Garden, similar to what they did with Punk, where like they made a whole big spectacle out of Punk's return.
All right.
I mean, you could do it. That's fine. You're not going to sell out TD Garden, so that's a waste of money.
More power to him, you know what I'm saying?
But with that, let's jump into some of these title matches.
Wait, I got one more
Okay,
non-title match.
Go ahead.
Because I know it interferes with yours a little bit, but I got Bianca versus Jade Cargill.
Okay, so that actually transitions perfectly into my first title match. And this is going to be crazy, and I know this is real fantasy booking, but I have the Kabuki Warriors defending their championship against the team of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair.
Okay.
I think what you can do here is Bianca can sort of be the mentor to Jade. That gives Jade more time to sort of get in-ring experience on TV, because no matter what people want to say, she can be in the performance center all she wants until you're live on TV and have to not fuck up. You're not ready. And then what that could set up is, the typical, like, they win the titles. I would push Jade to the moon, give her the titles at Mania, and do the typical feud where they lose the titles. Bianca or Jade, I would have Jade become the heel, have her sort of get jealous at Bianca, and do the turn. And this could be a 6-month feud heading into SummerSlam or Survivor Series. So that's my women's tag titles match.
My women's tag team, I'm still holding out hope, is Kabuki Warriors versus Sasha and Naomi. I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I'm not against Sasha coming back, but I'm at this point, I don't really care if she does. I think she still does, for the purpose that Dave Meltzer is saying that she's not. And Dave Meltzer was wrong about Punk. SRS was wrong about Punk. Oh, he's never going to show up in WWE, and here we are. We have CM Punk. So
I'm thinking if you get Naomi and Sasha versus Kabuki Warriors, and then you get Bayley goes over, you know what I'm saying, and then post Mania, like going into like Backlash or whatever,
you got
Bayley, Sasha, and Naomi versus Kyrie, Asuka, and Io.
That's interesting. That also, you could play the story about like what side Dakota takes, because she was missing last Friday.
I wonder what. Yeah.
So
she was on stream last night. She was streaming last night.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So my next one. Speaking of this one's, it's obvious because they just announced it. But Bayley versus Io.
I had that right.
Yeah. So that one was obvious as soon as Bayley won. I want to talk about that fucking segment though. Oh my god!
I was mad and happy at the same time.
Yeah,
go ahead. You go first. I was mad and happy.
I sort of had this belief, and maybe it's just me sort of trying to put my fantasy booking into real life. This needed to be Batista 05. And they I don't know why WWE does this, but they rushed this. There was still time for them to sort of play with the turn. And I just, for them to just do it, the night or the week after, she wins and then she turns on them. I think they rushed it. Now, I still think they can turn trash into something salvageable, and it's still going to be a good match. I think a lot of people fear the language barrier. I don't think people realize Bayley actually knows Japanese a little bit. And so it's not, I don't think it's going to be a big problem. She has a lot of chemistry with Io as it is. She spent the last 2 years as her tag team partner. So it's going to be a good match. I'm happy for it. I just think they rushed it. Even if it wasn't the sort of way Batista did it with Triple H, I feel there was a lot better way to use the term.
See, I'm happy and I'm mad because, first of all, I'm mad because they wasted, like you said, a great opportunity to give us a little more story to do a little better job of revealing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy because it like Bailey turned shit into gold. Okay,
Right.
she proved why she is a four horsewoman, why she is a leading example of women's wrestling today, on why she is a locker room leader, on why she's a top performer, is because she turned what could have been a very, very trash segment
Mm-hmm.
into goodness, into goodness. You know what I'm saying? You can hear the tears of her voice, her acting chops were there. But I really feel like this had potential to be Batista '05 meets the Sami Zayn trial.
Ooh, yeah.
It
Yeah.
like literally, if you the way I would have done it, you know what I'm saying? You had Bailey and damage control in there, and then she was gonna choose or whatever, and then she just attacked them or whatever, just attacked them,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're kind of like, oh my god, why Bailey, why? And then she comes out. You could do it immediately right after. You could do it the next Friday night or whatever. But then she releases like all the time she was sneaking like
Right.
around the corner listening to them. Not just that one time that we blatantly caught her on camera like in the background, but like literally like say her filming a TikTok, like and then
Right.
then she hears the girls come into the background and she's just quiet for a second and she's overhearing them as the video's playing, like from her perspective, and it could have leaked out on like NXT Anonymous or something like that.
Yeah. You were just saying what I was thinking. Like
Yeah, you could
that's
do it
that's one
all.
of the things that like with NXT that I enjoy. They have NXT Anonymous, or in one of the stories, I think it was with Fallon Henley and no Sol Ruka before she got attacked. She used her TikTok as a way to tell and continue the story, and they showed it on TV.
Hmm.
I don't understand why the main roster doesn't do that. You could have a SmackDown Anonymous and a Raw Anonymous.
Hmm.
Just random backstage segments of someone's randomly recording these things that are happening.
Like
Um,
I don't know if you watch Prime TNA. I think you didn't really watch Prime TNA, but back in the day, they did such a great job of like they made wrestling seem a little more realistic because
right,
they didn't blatantly have their heels talking into the camera backstage like, yeah, tonight we're gonna sneak attack him and show him what's up. He's not gonna see what's coming right in front of the camera.
right,
Like the camera guy will like sneak into the locker room, like hide behind like shirts in the closet, and you can see it in
right,
the camera like in the foreground. And he's just like zooming in on wrestlers having like a legit like intimate conversation in the locker room,
right,
and it kind of brought more of like a realistic, like you're kind of in there, and it didn't make the viewers seem stupid. It didn't make
right,
the wrestlers seem stupid.
right. So we'll move forward. Since we're talking about the women's match, let's talk about the other one. It's Rhea Becky. There's no conversation about this. Becky Lynch is winning the chamber.
Sure, why not? I have it written down.
I'm
You
not a big
know,
fan of it, but let's just be honest. That's what we're doing.
like I wanted to see Rhea Bianca this year, but
Yeah,
I do have Rhea Becky written down just for points purposes.
I honestly think they were gonna go the direction of Rhea Raquel, but Raquel, I don't
She has
know.
like an allergy,
She
like
has like some sort of
infection
she has some
rash
sort of
thing.
like some like rash or something where like she's like she literally cannot wrestle. It's like almost
Yeah,
like
her skin
psoriasis
is
type
all
thing.
his skin's
Yeah,
all broken out and
yeah.
everything.
So yeah, it's Rhea Becky. We know this.
Well, I'm praying they don't try to go Rhea Liv. I don't want to see Rhea Liv at
Please,
Mania.
please don't. I love Liv Morgan, but I'm sorry. I may be this may be hot take, but her title run was straight trash. It was.
I think it was more trash because the opponents they put her against, like they
Yeah,
try like Ronda. Let's be honest, was not the greatest in the ring.
yeah,
She can only cut promos a little bit because she hated the crowd when she was a heel. It was like she legit hated the fans. So
right,
that's the reason we felt some passion.
right.
And I forget who else she faced. Was she faced like Shayna or something, or Natalia or something like that?
Yeah, like Natalia. I think they gave her Shotzi once.
Yeah, like her
It
opponents and feuds weren't great.
yeah, yeah. I could see that. Um,
Liz the definition of why you need a mid card title for the women's
exactly.
division.
100%. 100%. I'm gonna go. We may be the same on this one. Logan Paul will defend his title against L.A. Knights.
Kinda. I have Logan Paul defends his title against LA Knight and Kevin Owens and AJ Styles
Mm,
and Pete Dunne and
mm,
Andrade. Well,
okay.
Andrade went to Raw though, so I probably have to switch that.
Right.
But I need a 6-man for a 6-man ladder match at WrestleMania. A
That's
US
interesting.
a
That's
US
interesting.
title 6-man ladder match WrestleMania.
I like it. I'm not against that idea.
Like WrestleMania has been missing a ladder match for a while now. We
Yeah,
need that multi-man ladder match at Mania. We miss it.
yeah. So you think if that was the case, does Logan Paul drop it? Someone else,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe LA Knight.
I think he brings the title into Mania. You know, get the name and the fame, and, you know, the celebrities at Mania, the culture stuff. And
Hmm.
I can see LA Knight walking out the US title. If I don't think Kevin Owens like needs it right now. I feel like he wants a bigger chip. I feel like after Mania we're gonna have a shakeup. He goes to Raw for the World Heavyweight title maybe. But I would see LA Knight go, you know, getting the US title, getting that first taste of gold. And
Mm.
if they're not putting in Andrade, I don't know who to put in
Maybe like
there.
that would be a good spot for someone like Montez to be in.
Montez Ford. If he's not involved in the Lashley stuff, you put Montez in there.
Yeah.
How, I don't know. Are there
Maybe
any other
maybe
call ups?
maybe it could be a call up. Maybe like a Carmelo Hayes or a Trick
Yeah,
Williams.
he's on SmackDown now. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Carmelo's gonna be busy with Trick at
Yeah.
Stand Deliver, unless Carmelo's in both matches and Trick costs him. Who knows?
Something.
Maybe. Oh, actually, you could put Theory or Waller, one of those two in there.
Right.
Cameron Grimes.
That's funny. So my other mid card title, the IC title, I may have to change this one. I wrote this before Stand and Deliver with the full expectation
Vengeance Day.
that or Vengeance Day, yeah. With the whole expectation that Trick Williams would win this match. So I had Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov for the IC title. I
Okay.
think it could still happen because Ilya could drop at Stand and Deliver, but there's no way to tell a story in a day. So I don't think it'll happen. So I'm gonna have to change that one. But at the moment, I have no idea who I'd put. This is what I really want to happen. I mean, maybe Kaiser, maybe a Gable. I'd love to see Gunther versus Otis, just
Okay.
because Otis doesn't really get a lot of like serious matches.
Hmm.
And if anything else fails, this could be a good spot for like someone like R-Truth to be in.
Oh, I'm surprised you had named these two names I have. Actually, you put one of these names earlier in your
Uh-huh.
first match, I think.
Okay.
But I got Gunther versus Braun
Okay.
Breaker,
Okay.
or Gunther versus Sheamus.
Okay.
And finally, I mean, I guess Gunther's gonna hang out a little bit longer, but there's not really a point at this point. I feel like you finally give Sheamus that IC title if he returns and they run it back, with no Drew. Or fudge it, you just throw Gunther, Sheamus, and Braun Breaker in there. And you just let
Yeah.
the three of them rock house. But I think you get Gunther, Sheamus, and you finally put Sheamus over.
Yeah. That makes sense. I honestly I didn't forget about him, but he hasn't been on TV in a while.
Yeah,
So yeah, now that you said it, yeah, let's get Sheamus is it the Triple Crown or the Grand Slam that he'd win? I think it's the Grand Slam.
yeah, Grand Slam.
Let's give Sheamus that. He deserved that. What was it, 2 years ago? Or was it last year they did the triple threat?
Well, and also, if they were gonna do Gunther versus Brock, if Braun is taking all Brock's like bookings,
Right.
maybe do Gunther Braun.
Okay. What does that leave? That leaves
Actually,
the two.
no.
That leaves the two main titles, I do believe. So Seth Rollins, I think I'm going to stand on this one. I'm going to stand on business on this one. Seth
Okay.
Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I'm fully convinced that that's the match.
I have that written down too, and I think. Well, actually, this probably go for the next match, but yeah, I have Seth versus Drew, and then for the big match of them all, I had Cody Roman written down, but that was before the whole Rock thing. But now I'm thinking you go Rock Roman Or hear me out, okay? Since Seth Rollins is all banged up or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
maybe backstage they're not expecting him to put on like WrestleMania main event level match. Maybe he'll open the show. Maybe
Okay.
you do like Seth Drew open the show
Okay.
for night 2 or whatever. Say you do Rock Roman night 1 WrestleMania, and then hear me out. You do Cody Roman night 2 with The Rock being special guest referee,
Okay.
and then The Rock turns on Cody and calls him a match, and The Rock acknowledges his tribal chief.
Okay.
And also, you can just get rid of night 1 in general and just have you build up kind of like this Rock Roman thing, and
Right.
like and at the contract signing, I forgot
Yeah.
I forgot who somebody on TikTok presented this idea, and I loved it, where Roman's all cocky, he signs a contract,
Without
Rock
noticing.
yeah, without noticing whatever, and then Rock comes out second, he signs it, and he's like, by the way, you should read the fine print, you're gonna face this man. And
Mm.
they bring out the martyr,
Mm.
Cody Rhodes,
Yes.
and then The Rock is like, well, guess what, buddy?
Well, Cody put
I'm a
out a
special
tweet.
guest.
Cody put out a tweet that was sort of like, I appreciate this, but trust me, guys, on this one. Like, it gets better. I think there's a twist in some way, shape, or form. I would be a big fan of it being like Rock is the special guest referee. Because they added that in the video game. So this whole idea was that like you can't finish the story as the sort of hashtag without Cody finishing the story. I will say this: if that booking happens and Rock is the special guest referee, Cody's winning the title.
No. But you have Rock turn on Cody and Rock goes heel.
So I would book it the other way. I would have The Rock screw Roman. Maybe it's a fast count or something. And that sets up maybe a bigger match for Rock versus Roman. Maybe next year's Mania without the title involved.
Or SummerSlam.
Or SummerSlam. I don't. At that point, I mean, SummerSlam would be fine. Maybe a crown jewel or something like of that nature.
Okay, yep.
But my match is actually, I'm 100% of the belief they're just gonna copy 2014 WrestleMania 30.
New triple threat.
It's gonna be triple threat. It's gonna be triple threat. I just believe that that's what they'll do. Whether it's Cody's got to go through some final challenges and he has to beat a whole bunch of other people, and he earns that spot in there. Maybe he starts the night or starts night 1, and has to beat somebody to get in. Who knows? I don't necessarily know exactly how that'll happen, but I am 100% of the behind the idea that it's going to be a triple threat, and you do that for one of two reasons. The first, in that situation, The Rock takes the pin, and that saves the other, whether it's Roman or Cody, from eating the pin. So if Roman loses because Cody wins and pins Rock, Roman can still say, I haven't been pinned since 2019 in a singles match.
Well, no, I forgot. When he faced Jay, that was a tag team match.
It was a tag team, yeah. So, but I believe in this situation, Roman will be the one that pins Rock, and Cody can then still come in and say, well, I didn't get my fair shot. I was never pinned.
I think you get to that Cody never had a fair shot if you book The Rock to turn heel,
which makes sense. Yeah, I get that.
Acknowledge Roman.
I get that. I
mean, if you want my true fantasy booking, okay. For y'all who are in the Discord, say I remember I typed this up at like 1:30 in the morning.
This boy,
so a lot.
This boy has Cody getting kidnapped and all this shit.
Yes, here we go. After living with his decision for a week or so, Cody is overwhelmed with the backlash. Okay, I'm just come on. So essentially, right? Cody feels stupid. He wants a second chance, right? and he was like, "Yo, I never should give The Rock my spot." And he goes to Adam Pearce on Raw. Adam's like, "Yo, you can't really change your mind. That's kind of too late. That you're out of luck. That's tough shit for you." And then the higher ups, TKOW, are like, "Nah, this is money. This is a big money match. Roman versus Rock. Sorry for you, Cody. And then Adam offers Cody a spot at Chamber to qualify to earn a shot at Seth for Mania. Okay, and then Cody wins the Chamber match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, so Cody says that he can't do that. Okay, no. Yeah, Adam understands and tells Cody he might have something up his sleeve and that he has to make a phone call to Nick Aldis. And that he'll get back to him next week. Fast forward a week and Adam Pearce informs Cody that he got him a chance, a small chance, but still a chance. Cody listens and he cuts a break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Later in the show, it's announced that Cody will face Solo and Jimmy in a 2-on-1 handicap match at Elimination Chamber. And if Cody wins, he'll be added into the Rock Roman match to make it a triple threat. So we're kind of on your wave now. And then after a grueling match, Cody stands victorious above Solo and Jimmy. He points at the sign, fireworks go off, boom, 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 and then done. Cody is headed back into Mania. And then you either do shortly after the PLE at a press conference. This is how I wrote it. After the PLE, Triple H is at the press conference, is talking about the show. Byron Saxton comes up to him on some 9/11 stuff, whispers in his ear. You know what I'm saying? He interrupts the press conference. Triple H is visibly shaken and apologizes and ends the conference immediately. Everybody's like confused and stuff. The live feed ends. 20 minutes later, it starts leaking out.
Like a backstage exclusive,
like a backstage exclusive, or like TMZ, or like
right,
or you get like Sean Ross his bum. So, and then they start leaking stuff, and then security footage comes out of Cody being attacked out on his way leaving Chamber, and then by two hooded men, and they're seeing the video jumping Cody, and they duct tape him and they abduct him. Following Monday on Raw, Adam Pearce is in the ring and he's asking on behalf of the WWE Universe if anybody has any knowledge or information leading to the rescue of Cody Rhodes. Later in the show, during a match with Valhalla and Maxine Dupree, Michael Cole interrupts the match and says they have just seen a third-party video clip of Cody Rhodes being attacked by NXT Anonymous. In this news footage that was obtained, we get a better view of the attackers. The internet quickly realizes that it's Jacob and Zilla Fatu. They attacked and kidnapped Cody Rhodes. And then as the weeks go on, headed into Mania, we get weekly clips of Cody being held captive and tortured on the Island of Relevancy, which is right here.
Right.
Okay, we're on the Island of Relevancy. And however, this leads to Cody not being rescued in time, and he misses WrestleMania.
Oh my God!
Cody finally returns to Raw after Mania. He's raggedy, disheveled, and not the usual corporately dressed up version of himself. And then Cody is now bloodthirsty and ready for revenge. He is now broken Cody Rhodes. Homelander Cody Rhodes.
I want it. Give it to me. This man is cooking. WWE's hiring for creative. Give this man a job.
I did see that little 45-minute drive down the road.
So let's jump into some of these questions. Some of these we've talked about already. So we'll start with Kara here. She asked, do you think WWE has dropped the ball big time with WrestleMania, or is it still too early to tell?
I think this is going to be potentially the biggest WrestleMania that we've ever had. It sucks that CM Punk went out with injury.
Mm-hmm.
I think he definitely would have added to it. Mm-hmm. But it kind of helps because it provides a spot. Like, I feel like we were like, one man was going to be left out at the top of the card.
But I also feel Drew's a bigger heel to face Seth, in my opinion. As much as I want Seth versus Punk, I think Drew deserves this spot a lot more. I love this heel character he's doing.
Oh no, I do love it too. But it definitely helps balance out the matches a little.
So I will say this: I think, and I'll expand on this a little bit more on Thursday. WWE's doing exactly what they planned back in January before the Rumble. I think they're doing exactly what they want it to do. What people don't realize is Rock officially was part of the board long before the announcement he was on the board. I think that the announcement of The Rock was made when it was made to sort of distract from the fact that Vince McMahon was being sued. And they just sort of pushed out that nugget of information. But he's been on the board for over a month. So I don't think they've dropped the ball. I think they're right on track. And we just gotta play it out and watch it. I don't think this is Rock being political at all. I think people are over exaggerating what's happening. And again, I'll sort of expand in my rant on Thursday. Her second part of the question we've already answered. Do you think that they are booking McIntyre to win the World Heavyweight Championship? I do.
Yes, because Seth needs
100%. 100%. Seth needs surgery. He needs a break. He's been carrying this division for almost a year at this point. And we definitely need a change in this championship because it's literally no different than what Roman's been doing, essentially.
And Gunther.
Right. And Rhea. Like literally all the champions. So we'll move forward to the winners. I
submitted like 15 questions.
This boy, I got some questions here. I do appreciate it though. So it's like, can someone please justify why fans are so upset with the Rock and Cody situation? We've been calling for Rock versus Roman for 3 years, and now everyone wants to cry about it now, and it's actually happening with Hogan's record. So close. Do we really believe Roman would drop it? The way I look at it, Rock ain't getting any younger, and this will literally be a once-in-a-lifetime match. I'd rather see Roman beat Rock knowing he's not dropping the belt than Cody losing 2 years in a row. So, yeah, I mean, you basically answered my answer for me. And, yeah, you're exactly right. This is once in a lifetime. Let's get it out of the way. We can get Cody at SummerSlam, and I think we can let it build up for 6 months.
And to his part where he was like, "Can someone please justify why the fans are so upset?" It's because they don't see the picture.
They don't understand. They don't understand it.
They don't see the picture. Like Triple H is Picasso in right now,
right?
And they don't see the picture.
Right. So what? And I'll say it this way: I've been of the belief that anyone you put against Roman Reigns, the fans will cheer for because they hate Roman Reigns. Now Cody's a little bit different because he is the super baby face. But this is not that they hate The Rock. They hate Roman Reigns to the point that they don't understand the story that's being told, and they're not patient. WWE fans, wrestling fans, AEW fans, they're not patient. They want what they want when they want it because Tony Khan gives them what they want when they want it. They don't have the ability to let things actually play out. And you're gonna have to learn to do that with Triple H and how he books, and so I think that's a lot of it. They just don't understand that it's about the moment of Rock versus Roman, because I'll go in this on Thursday a little bit more in depth, but this isn't gonna be some 60-minute classic. This match ain't even gonna be longer than 20 minutes. We'll get 5 minutes of entrances. The bell will ring. They will stare each other down for 4 to 5 minutes, walk in circles, hit each other with their finishers and their big moves. Rock will kick out of a spear or in a Superman punch. He'll hit the people's elbow. Roman will kick out of that, and then Roman will hit another spear, and that's the match. It's not going to be all of anything impressive, but the stare down and the tension in that arena. Go watch Rock versus Hogan. I think it's WrestleMania 18. The tension in that match, right? It's going to be that type of feeling, and that is more important to a lot of the casuals, to me, to WWE. That moment, that never forget moment, is more important than Cody Rhodes losing for a second WrestleMania in a row. Cody's going to get his opportunity. It's just not going to be this year at WrestleMania. I think it'll be probably Survivor Series before Roman drops it. I don't know another point after he gets the record in September where he would drop it.
I already told you he's going to face Hulk Hogan on the September 9th episode of Monday Night Raw.
All right. We're going to hold you to that one. And then his Witter's second question is, would you rather want Cody versus Seth 4 or Drew versus Sammy versus Seth? I don't want Sami Zayn. I'm sorry.
I don't want either.
I agree.
Respectfully, at least not at this Mania.
Right. This isn't anything against Sammy, but leave.
He's past his moment, right?
Right.
He's a really great utility player. He brings a lot of emotion. He a company guy. He does what he's told. He makes he makes like mayonnaise out of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my new expression. Mayonnaise out of shit. He makes hot sauce out of shit. You know what I'm saying? He makes stuff spicy. He a good dude. He makes he make you dimes out of shit.
Right.
Not Roman Reigns money.
Right.
But he makes you quarters out of shit.
Right.
So he's not that guy right now. His moment passed.
Right. So Witters then goes on and asks, do you think the voices of WWE will adjust in the way the NFL did? For the longest time, NFL broadcasters were non-football players, and now slowly more retired NFL players were taking their spots. For example, like Greg Olson and Tony Romo. So, for example, for what if in 10 years, instead of the commentary team we have now, we have R-Truth and Cedric Alexander and Chelsea Green doing backstage interviews? Do you see that happening?
First, I need to get past the point of when we finally lose Michael Cole. That's gonna be a sad day when he calls his last consistent match. That's gonna be a sad day when we lose
First
Michael
off,
Cole.
it better be a fucking WrestleMania. Do not retire this man at any other event other than WrestleMania.
Exactly, it's gonna be sad. But like, I could definitely see like a guy like the Miz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the Miz on commentary. Imagine like the Miz and Corey Graves.
I think someone like LA Knight would be great on commentary.
I definitely don't know if I want to see R-Truth on commentary every week. That would give me like, who was it? Like JBL vibes or like or who was it, Booker T on SmackDown or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like I like Booker, but like I need more just like, I can't take too much personality. I need you to be able to tell a story.
Right. I think someone like Big E and Titus O'Neil, we know we can do commentary because he's done it before. So someone like Big E and Titus O'Neil who can, I just don't know if WWE would position their I mean, they've done it before. I mean, Jesse Ventura ended up being a commentator. So I could see it. I don't know if they'll have the entire team be full of ex-WWE guys, but I could see it happen. I wouldn't mind it. It just has to be the right ones, and they have to be good on the mic. You can't put someone like, I'm trying to think of. Don't put Becky Lynch on the mic because she bad at it. I'm sorry.
Like the hard part about Chelsea Green and like especially I guess like the women's side of the roster is a lot of them they move on to like acting and modeling after wrestling. Like they're not they don't want to go from being like the center of attention to be like a backstage interviewer.
Right.
That's kind of like where you get like that young woman who's trying to make her way to the business. You know, or even like a more veteran sports reporter kind of person.
That's where I was because WWE. Megan Morant used to cover the Celtics, and she's now backstage. She does the pre-shows now. I forgot what Kayla Braxton did before this, but before her was Charlie. She no longer is with the company, but she used to work for ESPN. So a lot of their backstage girls are, somewhat familiar with, actually doing interviews.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they'll have the backstage people be former wrestlers, but I can see the commentary team, like the people who call the matches, definitely could.
Would you be interested, almost like a concept of you have like almost how they do like an ESP like NBA broadcast or football broadcast where they kind of like bring like a guest, like a special guest, like whereas like maybe like you have your set team of like say Corey Graves and
Mm-hmm.
we'll just say Byron Saxton for example. I like Byron, but we'll say Corey and Byron, and you're like next week on Raw, special guest commentary for the whole show. We bring on Shelton Benjamin or whatever. And,
Right.
almost how like the NBA where they bring in like when Kobe was there, he would join commentary every once in a while, or like
Right.
and they bring on a guy for like a quarter of the show.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, even if it was just sort of like a segment or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost how they had the special what's it called the celebrity general manager every week. Just have
Right.
like a rotating third person of like former wrestling personalities. They join the
Right.
booth.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. We're gonna continue with the winners here. He's got a few more questions. Push one, fire one between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable.
Push Chad Gable.
Yeah, push Gable to the moon. This dude deserves for everything he's been through in his career after he lost Jason Jordan as his tag team partner. But from Shorty G in that trash gimmick
Which he got
to
over.
which he did get over to the beginning of Alpha Academy where it was just straight comedy and he got it over to the point where it's at now. This dude needs some sort of recognition for how good he is.
Well, no, they start off heel. He got that heel gimmick over,
Yeah.
especially against was it Randy and Riddle, where I think it was like
Yeah.
Riddle took off.
Yeah. And again, this is nothing against Sami Zayn. He's past the sort of stage of credibility to me. I feel his only reason he got to hit the height he was last year was again they put him against Roman Reigns, and people hate Roman Reigns. His next question: would you rather have two separate tag team titles or just the one set with the championships jumping between shows?
I do like how we have like that, that ultimate tag team, like who's like the champion of the whole division. But I miss having the titles on both shows because it gives
Right.
again the wrestlers opportunities to fight for something. Because like if the Judgment Day is in a program with DIY for 2 months,
Right.
then your SmackDown division's like just
Sort of doing nothing.
So that's why it's beneficial to have on both shows.
I'm of the same. If they were able to book the opposite show in a way that was meaningful, then I'd be okay having one set of championships. But they haven't proven they could do that, so we definitely need two sets. Just to make it easier on creative to give everyone something to do. Is next, how do you feel about Jimmy and Jay's solo run? Do you think we see them team up again this year?
This year, no, unless they unite against Roman. But like, I just don't really like. I want to see Jay do his own thing for a while. Maybe have Jimmy ride Solo's coattails. I feel like that's not the way to put it, but like, Jimmy supports Solo, or maybe Jimmy and Naomi can do something on screen.
Right.
I want to see Jay kind of do his own thing for a while. He has potential to do some big stuff.
I do agree. They'll get back together at some point.
Yeah, they're a legacy tag team.
Right. So I like Jay's singles run better than Jimmy's.
Yeah.
But I knew that was going to be the way it was going to be. Jay has a lot more charisma and just ability to get things over than Jimmy does. And that's not a knock on Jimmy. He's still super good in the ring. But yeah, I think we'll get the match at Mania, and I think leading from that, everything from there, the sort of falling action will be leading to a reunion. That's sort of what brothers do. They fight and then they get back together. So, but I don't think it'll happen this year. I think it'll be a slow build to another tag team run with them. It's not like we need them to win the titles again.
Yeah.
They're towards the end of their career. They've been doing this for like 14 years.
Yeah.
So,
a long time.
And then the last question from Witters is, Cinnamon rolls or French toast sticks? Debate it.
There's only one right answer here. You better say the right answer.
I'm gonna let you go first.
French toast sticks.
All right, I feel you on that one. I agree.
Especially when they get that little cinnamon on it. Not
Yep.
overwhelming, but like they get that little cinnamon. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. French toast sticks all day.
Shout out to Sodexo, you know what I'm saying? It's Sodexo food service, you know what I'm saying? When I was in college, that Saturday morning, bro, after you was partying Friday night,
Mm,
that Saturday, Friday morning breakfast,
mm,
when you get that omelet with the French toast sticks that just hit, and
right,
that fresh orange juice that just quenched your tongue, boy.
right.
That shit was busting.
All right. So then we got one more person. He asked 3 questions. So this is B Master. His first one is, do you think TKO will be a silent player, or will they let the popularity go to their heads? I'm gonna start with this one. From history of every business they've ever sort of taken over, outside of let's use the UFC for example. Outside of the roster and who's on it and how much they're paying, TKO ain't giving 2 shits about what UFC does, what matches they put on, what bouts they have, when the events take place. TKO doesn't care about that. If you're making money, that's all they care about. And so I don't think Endeavor or TKO or any of that will do anything with booking. They have Triple H. They have a team. If for whatever reason Triple H has to be removed because of these scandals, which could, I mean, that's a possibility. The Rock's right there. I'm 100% certain that's why he's on the board. And so, yeah, I definitely think there'll be a silent player. They'll let the wrestling experts take care of the on-screen stuff, and roster cuts are going to happen. They always happen. Endeavor's a little bit more ruthless with it. They've basically cut UFC's roster in half over the last few years. So that may be the only thing that really changes in terms of what they control. But I think with WWE, because everyone is they try to use everyone. As long as you have good return on investment, you'll have a job, you'll be fine. For the most part, they'll be silent.
Yeah, I can see them only really getting involved in when it comes to like hiring new talent. I feel like if Triple H could, he's been proven that the people he brings in, the people that he hires, as far as wrestling talent, most of them, if not all of them, have made return on investment so far. As far as like T-shirt sales, merch sales, ticket sales. So I feel like as long as each hire and he keeps up a good track record of talent he vouches for and brings in returning on investment, I feel like TKO will keep signing checks for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. His next question. He said, "This is a fun question for you all. What animal would you compare each current champion in WWE?" I'm not doing all these champions. There's a lot of them. So we're gonna do main roster, and we'll do the 2 men's and the 2 women's, and we'll leave it at that. So let's start with EO.
I don't know. I feel like we're treading water. I feel like this could turn very racist very fast.
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I was gonna do EO last. I was gonna start with Seth Rollins.
Okay, let's start with Seth then.
I feel like he's easy. I feel like he's like a chameleon.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Also, he's supposed to play. Is rumored he's supposed to play like a lizard person in Captain America 4 for the MCU.
Right.
But I can see him be like a lizard person or like a reptile, like of some sort.
Yeah, chameleon fits him really well. I can see that.
He really adapts. You know what I'm saying? That's why
right.
Colorful person.
I think Roman's a little easy. The dude's like a pit bull or a Rottweiler.
Nah, he's a lion. He's the king of the jungle. He's the head of the table. You know what I'm saying? That's a
or you could just say he the goat.
True. Roman is a goat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're smoking on that Cody pack all 2024. Rhea Ripley.
Rhea, this one's tough because I don't really know any animal that really acts the way she does.
Rhea Ripley is a that's a good question. I don't know. She's a snake. I don't know. No, she what's that? She a Komodo dragon. You know what I'm saying? She got again, reptiles. They got like these certain type of people who just are obsessed with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like me, I mean, I love Rhea Ripley, but like some people like they just love snakes and lizards and all this shit, and they're just like, oh my god, it's so cute, so sexy. I'm like, bro,
Right.
it's a snake. That's a reptile. That's just
Right.
wild. And then
Hey,
some people,
that Komodo dragon got poison in its tongue, man.
yeah, it's a strong lizard. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Rhea Ripley is a brawlic woman. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But she's
You
still
can do
very
EO.
feminine.
You can do EO. I ain't really got anything for
Okay, so you're watching Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu
her.
Panda.
Yeah.
You know, like that, the gray tiger, the evil
Okay.
tiger.
Okay.
It's like she's like a mixture of like the gray tiger and then the regular tiger.
Okay.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
can feel that. All right. Last question here. In your opinion, how long should someone be champion, and how long should the feud be? I'm gonna keep my answer short. As long as the story requires. I don't think there should be a length.
I would say be a champion as long as there are drawing, as long as there is interest, and you definitely want to switch champions. Like it's okay if you're peaking, and you stall out, but you want to make sure you jump off. You want to jump off that stall and before it starts to dip. But
Right.
once it starts to
Right.
dip, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna go down a little bit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You want to keep you got to hop off while it's peaking. It's almost as if, guys, you're like what's it called? You're an investor. You know what I'm saying? You're doing trading. You're investing in
Right.
stock. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep getting as it's going up. You want to stay on that train, and you want to jump off right before it goes down. You know what I'm saying? That's the easiest way to look at it.
Right.
Booking 101.
And as we always do, we'll end this with Thirsty Tuesday real quick. So we got Jade Cargill, Jakara Jackson, Red Velvet from AEW, and then Mercedes Moné's technically still a free agent, so we'll put her in that category. Who would you pick real quick?
Last place is Red Velvet.
Yeah.
So I had to familiarize myself with her. So I looked up on some AEW clips. I actually watched her match versus Jade Cargill.
Right.
I wasn't quite seeing it, but if you want to see it badly, her true potential, you gotta look at their entrance. So I typed in Red Velvet entrance, and it wasn't hitting with me personally.
Right.
She got beautiful skin. I love her skin. It's very like glistening and smooth.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't know, the face not quite hitting for me. Like, she's beautiful, but it's just that like
Right.
she just seemed like she seemed like a all due respect. Okay, all due respect. It seemed almost like not watered down. She seemed like a alternate version timeline, variant of like Brandy Rhodes.
Okay. I can see that.
Second place. What's her name? Jakara Jackson. What's her name?
Yeah.
Jakara Jackson, second place. No, sorry, third place. Second place, Jade Cargill. First place, Sasha Banks.
I ain't even gonna spend time ranking them. My answer here is Jakara Jackson. I'm just gonna leave it at that one. And with that, that is the Slap and Meat Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Check out junkyardmediagroup.com. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Have a great rest of your day.
Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like get some moment.